Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Today, we're talking Squarebills, primarily the little guys. Now, I put out a kind of a complete video of all 3 days, but I still haven't edited all the days separately. But the last time I got out, the last fishing trip in 2019, this little guy right here was tearing them up. The only thing I caught fish on other than I did have a little drop shot rigged up. So, let's talk about this bait. I thought I would be able to tell you guys, alright, this is the Cabela's Dig It. They sell it at Cabela's, and you can run up there and buy some. Guess what? They don't make this bait anymore. Or Cabela's doesn't have it. I don't know if you can find them on eBay or not. So, you know what time it is. It's time for me to find another go-to. Now, I still have, let me slide this up here. I still have a bunch of them. I have actually 4, and they have, like any other bait, they change them over the years. There's the original. They did switch them a little bit. Added, you can tell they definitely changed. I don't know why companies do that, but they always end up switching them around. These all still work. Baby bass color. And I do have 4 other of more natural colors of different bait fish. So, and we'll talk about these later. So anyway, I do have 9, but those aren't going to last. And when I go out here fishing, I want to be able to, catch fish with things that I can tell you guys where to go get them. And since I can't really do that with these anymore, guess what time it is? You guessed it. It's time to go shopping. So that is exactly what I did. I ran to Cabela's just to see what put my hands on some baits instead of just looking on the computer and trying to figure out which ones I want to get. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Strike King. Anybody knows me. I'm not a big fan of Strike King baits. Yes, they work. They catch fish all over because that's what a lot of people are throwing. I find that anything Strike King makes, somebody else makes a better version. This being a perfect example. This bait here caught me way more than a 1.0 or 1.5 ever did. When the bite was tough. When a Squarebill bite is working, I don't think it really matters what bait you use. I'm talking about when the bites get tough. For me, Strike King isn't a go-to bait on anything, but some guys will argue it and it wins tournaments, and I know all that kind of stuff. I'm not a tournament fisherman. So anyway, the first bait I thought I might as well get, kind of like I did the shootout with the chatterbaits and the whole Z-Man, is the jackhammer worth the money over original? And I found out for me, no, it's not. So I'm going to test this bait as 1.0 along with some other baits. Now all these baits been out a couple years. Of course, the Strike King's been out quite a bit longer. But these are new to me. Back when I found the Dig It, these weren't even made, and neither were the Berkeley's. But these are the Rapala, or Rapala, however you pronounce it, Brat. They make a 6-foot and a 3-foot version. I got one of each in slightly different color. I think both them colors will work. And it's real close to the size of these, but these baits don't rattle. This bait rattles. I like my Squarebills to rattle. So, and I know you guys are going to find this hard to believe. I do too, actually. I've never owned any Bandit baits. I've seen other guys throwing them, and the guys swear by them, which I do think they will actually work. And the Bandit 100 is pretty close in size. It's hard to tell on here, but it's a little bit bigger round, more of a round bait, not necessarily cut out like this bait is. But these baits, a lot of guys swear by these Bandits, and that's all they buy. Bandit's been making these things for years. So I had to get them in the mix and a couple to try out. Now the ones that I kind of late to the game on because I think they quit making them in a rattling version. They used to call these the Pitbull 3.5. That's their smallest ones. But you can see right here, and some of them I actually took out of the package at Cabela. Some of them don't rattle, and they even say they rattle. But I did take this one out. This one does rattle. None of the Squarebulls that they changed the name, same bait, but they went from rattling and they're silent now. Same size, weight, everything else. So I think those 2 colors will work. And if any of these really kick in and I feel are going to be my new go-to. I will add more colors. For now, I just want to get a couple of each. I still managed to spend $80 at Cabela's just buying what I call a handful of baits. I picked up a few other things. Now, also, I'm going to add on this bait, just to try it, sort of trying to turn into an underspin. I'm going to add that on the belly of this bait and see if that, may help on when bites are tough and stuff like that. So anyway, that's what we can look forward to. Real quick, I'll talk about the baits that I have tried. I have tried, and I got rid of all my Strike King baits a while back. I got frustrated with Strike King. But anyway, I've tried these here before. I believe I even had a 1.0. I had a couple 1.5s, and everybody talks about the blackback and chartreuse. I've had that. Not any good. So I'll give you the rundown on baits I can remember off the top of my head that I've tried that I did not like. And actually I have 5 of those baits. Home's in the wrong spot. I have tried the Strike King baits. I mean, they'll catch a fish here and there. I'm not super impressed with them. I'll show you what I have here. These have just come out here recently. These don't work all the time, but there's times when these little rebels will just flat out catch them. And you guys may have had a video. It's like my fastest 5-pound bass catch ever. I went to this little pond, threw this thing out like the second or third cast, caught a 5-pounder. The only bait other than a worm, soft plastic, that I've caught a 5-pounder out of that pond, never on a hard bait. And that little sucker right there, just that quick. So made me a believer out of sometimes that bright color, unnatural looking color just attract, they'll hit it, even a big one. These baits they do kind of hunt pretty good. And those are the Rebels, if you guys don't know what those are. And for anybody that is also throwing this on regular gear or BFS, that's kind of why I like these little baits. They tend to get hits when nothing else will, and you can throw them on my BFS gear. I run the Kying rods that are almost indestructible. Almost, not completely, but not afraid to throw any of these baits on any of the Kying rods. So, now, I only have a couple true mega bass baits. That's cranks. I've got a smaller one and a bigger one. This one has caught me plenty of fish. All the mega bass S cranks, they don't make any noise. That little guy there, when the water's pretty clear and the bite's kind of tough, that actually does work. But I wanted to get a different color. Yet to catch a fish, I don't think, on this one yet. I don't know. The color looks awesome to me. I think the fish don't like it. But we're yet to see. I just got it early this year. Also picked up this bait. Is that the Booyah? That thing is not good. Flex 2 or whatever. I don't like it anyway, but I don't know. I don't feel very much confidence in that bait. I'm not going to probably buy any more. That's the Lucky Craft, and I think it's just a color. Everybody likes Lucky Craft baits, but I think I've caught one fish on this bait. Not a huge fan. These actually had a time when they worked real good. The Killer Bees from Bagley. Now, I lost on my good color. I don't know what happened to them, but all I have left of these baits are a few different sizes, basically the same color. This is a little different color. One's more stained water. But these were actually pretty good little Squarebills. I don't think they make them anymore, is why I don't really try not to use them. I have tried them occasionally. The bite gets real tough, but I found that the Dig It will always work when sometimes even these don't. I've also tried the Echo, I believe it is. I was thinking that, a real loud one that rattled real loud. It had all kinds of BBs in it. That bait sucked. I have had good luck with these. And another thing about the Mega Bass or these, Norm Coulter told me he custom painted some of these for me. Not this one. See the paint coming off? This is one I bought before I started having Norm paint them. He painted this one. Baby bass color. But these are the only hard baits that I actually tie directly onto there. I don't know if you guys have done that or not. I find it hunts more often, darts way out and comes back tied directly onto a tight knot rather than a loose knot or a, some kind of snap swivel thing. I've got it, in the, I don't think Norm painted this one. I can't remember. No, I don't think so. That's a good color, crappie color. I've caught some fish on it. Caught them on the, I've got these. They're the baby bass, but one's got more of just a touch of yellow, and then a white belly, then an orange belly. And I think I've lost a few of these, but these are like expensive. These are going to cost you roughly 15 to 20 bucks. So I'm trying to get away from that. I mean, I will try them because I do have them, and you can still get them. They sell these on eBay. You just look up, custom painted S crank or something like that, just in the search, and there's guys still, because you can buy this in a clear, unpainted version of a Megabass knockoff, basically, but it's not a true Megabass bait. Like, it's not like they're trying to do exactly what Megabass did. They did, yes, they copied that, the profile, and basically what this bait does, but every one of these I've come across, they rattle. Megabass does, as far as I know, I've never seen one, they do not make a rattling version of their bait. So the guys that knock these off, and whoever company that makes those, kind of hit a market that I guess Megabass didn't want in on, a rattling one. So I'm gonna get out of here, but if you guys have your preferred style, let me know which Squarebill you guys, it's your go-to, one that, like, when nothing else, none of your other Squarebills are working, that one, you pull it out and it always catches you fish if you know they should be hitting the, the Squarebill is going to work in that shallower water where they should be. Because I've tried several different ones, I'm sure there's a bunch I'm forgetting about, but these little diggets were like a go-to for sure. I've had the kids and different people, if they're like, I want to catch fish, like, throw this. And it always produced us, maybe not monsters, but I have caught some 4 and 5 pounders on this bait. So I guess real quick I should talk about, like, let's open the bandits. The bandits do. You guys kind of want to see an unboxing, right? You guys want to see me get hooked, right? Hear that knock in the bandit? Not super loud, like that's a loud. That's like, here I come, almost like a rattle trap. The bandit is more of a subtle one. It's actually probably a little bit different than that, but close. I think these are going to work. I don't know why. I've just never bought these before. I guess because they're always at, from the time I started looking at tackle shops, they've always been there, and me, I'm always like, what's the newest, coolest thing out? But I'll find out this season. These are usually what most guys are considering their tried and true go-to bait. So also, if you guys don't know about Average Joe's Fishing Club, I'm on that on Facebook. That's where I do a lot of my, talking to guys now since I got kicked off tackle porn. You guys suck. Not all of you. Some of you are still friends with me on Facebook, but they know who I'm talking about. But anyway, there's that one. Now, these, I don't think I've ever taken one out of the package, but they don't rattle. They're supposedly filled with balsa. So let me quieten up the hooks. Yeah, no rattle. Now you do get, I think, some noise, just when a bait's going through the water, even though it's in the water, that metal clacking together has got to make some sort of noise underwater. I wish they made this exact color in some of these baits, which I may, if I find one of these also that I really like, one of these styles, I will probably send a few to Norm Coulter. If you guys don't know who he is, look him up on Facebook. Does awesome paint on baits, and I believe he makes some of his own balsas too, which I don't know. I try to stay away now, custom stuff, but I mean, if you guys really like it, I try to, throw what you guys can just run to the tackle store and buy if it works. So this one's not supposed to be. This thing rattles. Something's rattling. Wait a minute. What is going on here? Oh, I about hooked myself. You guys want this. Let me see. Nope. What? I can swear I hear something rattling. No, I think it's quiet. I don't know. Now this one is supposed to rattle. So there's a limited amount of these here and there. Like I found this one at Cabela's still on the shelf, and I've seen them on eBay. If you guys prefer a little one that does rattle, there's still... Oh, this one don't rattle either. Yeah, it did. I took it out at the store. I think they have a slight rattle that's got a... Oh my God. Ah, these sharp. Ow, these hooks are super sharp. Now, I had it rattling at the store. That's what... They may stick, I don't know. But it doesn't really matter if it rattles or not. I'll try them out. That is weird. I took it out of the package at the store. I could swear I heard it making a faint rattle. There we go. You hear that? It's a very faint rattle coming out of those, which is maybe a good thing. I don't know. We'll find out. And the KVD, this is the most of the Strike King Squarebills, other than this tournament series, I think, they don't rattle, but this one does. And if I start catching some on this, I'll probably even maybe upsize to a 1.5, give it a shot again, but I definitely will get more of these in rattling and non-rattling. Yeah, see, actually I like that sound. Hear that? Not far off. I actually like that sound. I don't really like any of the colors they give. They don't really put, I feel, a lot of effort into painting up the Strike King stuff. Like, look at that funky black. Like, oh, yep, look, there's its fan. Look, there's its gill plate, and it's like way back there. Like, really? I don't know. Maybe it works, we'll see. All comes down to if it catches fish or not, right? So, size-wise, this is about the closest one, but it's actually a touch smaller. It's the only one that is. It's a little smaller than this guy. So, we're going to try them all out, though. We'll compare them to the... Here's what I would call the next smallest. The 1.0 beside the 3.5. Pretty close. These are small baits. I'm going to be using them on my BFS gear. Let's see so much skinnier. Almost the same exact length. Should go through the water a little bit differently. That's pretty close. And lastly, let's compare. What in the world? Alright, are we back? Okay, I don't know what happened. We got interrupted. So, lastly, I want to talk real quick about, of course, you need these to... I've kind of went with just split rings for changing out hooks and for getting hooks out of the, the smaller hooks out of the smaller fish. The big fish, I tend to stick my big old fingers in there and get the hooks out. But when it comes to some of these little baits, a little pair of needle nose and these still work. So, last thing before I get cut off, what I want to talk about real quick, the hooks on these kind of have always sucked. I just got by with them, and it does go through a cover awesome, but if you remember in the last video I put together and the ones you'll see coming out, I lost some fish. And part of it's due to the hooks, part of it I think I had just a little too stout rod for these little hooks. But what I've done is I've switched out to a red hook up front, which is a little bit, better hook than the original on that. But then, like I mentioned, I'm going to take this bait and I'm going to try to basically put an underspin right at the belly of it to see if that extra little flash will help, because this is, kind of imitating a bait fish, and that extra little flash may help, kind of like the underspins on your swim baits. I'm going to give that a shot. So anyway, I guess I should get out of here and let you guys go. If you have a go-to Squarebill, we're talking Squarebills, comment below what it is, kind of how, if there's a certain way you have to use it, or if you switch out hooks or not, stuff like that. So anyway, stay tuned. I've got unboxing going to be coming from Tackle Warehouse. I've got some of the different chatterbaits. We're still kind of working on chatterbait videos. And then I'm going to do, I got one more Kying rod. The 6'6" did show up. So if you guys have any worries or fears about, if you order like the Kying rods from overseas, right from Kying, from China, I had one damage, was no issue. It got sent back actually before it even made it to me, and then they sent me another one, and it's already here. The first batch of rods, they would have all been here within 2 weeks, but the one got damaged, so it took it another week and a half, almost two. So it's not that long. Like, I'm still waiting on a spool to come from China. I ordered the same day I ordered the rods, and the Kying factory, they are pretty quick about shipping rods out. So anyway, hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, Bass and Bonsai. And if you happen to be watching this and you are on the bonsai side, bonsai videos will be coming up for sure in the spring. I'm going to try to throw a few together before then. But once it warms up enough around here and we're not going to have any freezing going on, I'm going to get some trees to work on. So, like always, guys, thanks for watching. I'm gone.